Bernd Bonta, the manager of Wladimir Klitschko, actually says that he has agreed financial terms with Eddie Hearn for Klitschko to face Anthony Joshua. I'm going to quote Bernd Bonta directly. He says, "Joshua's promoter Eddie Hearn and I have actually agreed things financially. It now depends a bit on the world organizations, but we would like to see the fight go ahead." Those are the words of Bernd Bonta. I'm skeptical about whether Eddie Hearn is serious about having Joshua face Klitschko, particularly this year. Joshua's only had, 17 fights? Hearn's really going to put his cash cow, his goose laying golden eggs in there against Wladimir Klitschko after 17 fights? That's pretty ambitious. As I mentioned in a previous video, Tyson Fury was 23, 24 fights in before he faced Klitschko? Doesn't Joshua need more experience before fighting somebody like Klitschko? And again, I'm not here saying I don't want the fight to happen. I think Joshua should be fighting people like Klitschko if he's going to call himself heavyweight champion. But from Eddie Hearn's perspective, is he really serious? A lot of people don't think he is. I think the majority of people don't seem to think he is. But going by what Bernd Bonta is saying here, there's clearly been talks between Eddie Hearn and Bonta. Bonta seems to think it may well happen, but he did say it depends on the world organizations, as in the WBO and the WBA, because Hearn wants to make the fight for the unified titles, the IBF, WBO and WBA. And unless it's for those unified titles, it seems Hearn is not interested in the fight, but he is also trying to put a bit of that on Klitschko. He's also insinuating that Klitschko don't want to fight Anthony Joshua as a voluntary challenger, because that may reduce his purse significantly. As a voluntary challenger, he may be, we don't know actually. We don't know how the negotiation process would go, but if Klitschko was fighting or in a way exercising his rematch clause with Fury and therefore getting the opportunity to fight for the WBA and WBO world heavyweight titles, that might give him more strength, more power at the negotiating table. Because at the end of the day, would Anthony Joshua be able to fight for those belts against anybody else other than Klitschko at this point in time? It's doubtful. More than likely, those belts are going to, Wladimir Klitschko is going to get first dibs on those belts. So if you want to get a crack at them, you're probably going to have to fight Klitschko for them. So in that situation, Klitschko probably would be better off at a negotiating table, have more clout at a negotiating table than if he was just going to Anthony Joshua asking for a voluntary defense. So I don't know, people. It's interesting, and we're going to see in the coming days and weeks if this fight actually is going to take place. I'd be very surprised if it takes place this year, but stranger things have happened. I think it's much more likely next year. We'll see. What do you think in the comment section below? Let me know. All right. It's your boy Hatman. I'm out.